On February 17, 2009, Obama signed the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act of 2009, a $787 billion, equivalent to $994 billion in 2021, economic stimulus package aimed at helping the economy recover from the deepening worldwide recession. The act includes increased federal spending for healthcare, infrastructure, education, various tax breaks and incentives, and direct assistance to individuals. In March 2009, Obama's Treasury Secretary, Timothy Geithner, took further steps to manage the financial crisis, including introducing the Public-Private Investment Program for Legacy Assets, which contains provisions for buying up to $2 trillion in depreciated real estate assets. Quote, Obama intervened in the troubled automotive industry in March 2009, renewing loans for General Motors, GM, and Chrysler to continue operations while reorganizing. Over the following months, the White House set terms for both firms' bankruptcies, including the sale of Chrysler to Italian automaker Fiat and a reorganization of GM, giving the U.S. government a temporary 60% equity stake in the company. In June 2009, dissatisfied with the pace of economic stimulus, Obama called on his cabinet to accelerate the investment. He signed into law the car allowance rebate system, known colloquially as cash for clunkers, which temporarily boosted the economy. The Bush and Obama administrations authorized spending and loan guarantees from the Federal Reserve and the Department of the Treasury. These guarantees totaled about $11.5 trillion, but only $3 trillion had been spent by the end of November 2009. On August 2, 2011, after a lengthy congressional debate over whether to raise the nation's debt limit, Obama signed the Bipartisan Budget Control Act of 2011. The legislation enforced limits on discretionary spending until 2021, established a procedure to increase the debt limit, created a Congressional Joint Select Committee on Deficit Reduction to propose further deficit reduction with a stated goal of achieving at least $1.5 trillion in budgetary savings over 10 years, and established automatic procedures for reducing spending by as much as $1.2 trillion if legislation originating with the new Joint Select Committee did not achieve such savings. By passing the legislation, Congress was able to prevent a U.S. government default on its obligations. The unemployment rate rose in 2009, reaching a peak in October at 10.0% and averaging 10.0% in the fourth quarter, following a decrease to 9.7% in the first quarter of 2010. The unemployment rate fell to 9.6% in the second quarter, where it remained for the rest of the year. Between February and December 2010, employment rose by 0.8%, which was less than the average of 1.9% experienced during comparable periods in the past four employment recoveries. By November 2012, the unemployment rate fell to 7.7%, decreasing to 6.7% in the last month of 2013. During 2014, the unemployment rate continued to decline, falling to 6.3% in the first quarter. GDP growth returned in the third quarter of 2009, expanding at a rate of 1.6%, followed by a 5.0% increase in the fourth quarter. Growth continued in 2010, posting an increase of 3.7% in the first quarter, with lesser gains throughout the rest of the year. In July 2010, the Federal Reserve noted that economic activity continued to increase, but its pace had slowed, and Chairman Ben Bernanke said the economic outlook was unusually uncertain. Overall, the economy expanded at a rate of 2.9% in 2010. The Congressional Budget Office, CBO, and a broad range of economists credit Obama's stimulus plan for economic growth. The CBO released a report stating that the stimulus bill increased employment by 1 million, while conceding that it is impossible to determine how many of the reported jobs would have existed in the absence of the stimulus package. Although in April 2010, survey of members of the National Association for Business Economics showed an increase in job creation over a similar January survey. For the first time in 2 years, 73% of 68 respondents believed the stimulus bill has had no impact on employment. The economy of the United States has grown faster than the other original NATO members by a wider margin under President Obama than it has any time since the end of World War II. The Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development credits the much faster growth in the United States to the stimulus plan of the U.S. and the austerity measures in the European Union. Within a month of the 2010 midterm elections, Obama announced a compromise deal with the congressional Republican leadership that included a temporary 2-year extension of the 2001 and 2003 income tax rates, a 1-year payroll tax reduction, continuation of unemployment benefits, and a new rate and exemption amount for estate taxes. The compromise overcame opposition from some in both parties, and the resulting $858 billion, equivalent to $1 trillion in 2021, tax relief, Unemployment Insurance Reauthorization, and Job Creation Act of 2010 passed with bipartisan majorities in both houses of Congress before Obama signed it on December 17, 2010. In December 2013, Obama declared that growing income inequality is a defining challenge of our time, and called on Congress to bolster the safety net and raise wages. This came on the heels of the nationwide strikes of fast food workers and Pope Francis' criticism of inequality and trickle-down economics. Obama urged Congress to ratify a 12-nation free trade pact called the Trans-Pacific Partnership.